Hey everyone, welcome to Car Review. Today we're going to do a no spoilers review of the new movie Stuber. So let's get into it. So Stuber is a new comedy action movie starring, and I apologize for butchering their names, Kumail Nanjiani and Bautista. And it's pretty good. I really enjoyed myself. This was a movie that I thought for sure the trailers were going to be better than the movie, because when I saw the trailers in the theaters, I thought it actually looked pretty good. But then I was like, I don't know how good this is going to be overall. I don't know how this can be a full movie. I don't know if it's going to be like everything is in the trailers, all the good laughs. It's just going to be a whole bunch of filler. But I was delightfully surprised. This movie had legitimate comedic moments, and I literally laughed out loud a few times in the theater. And it was a good time. Is it going to be one of the best movies of 2019? No. Will it be one of my favorites? Probably not. Will it even be one of the best comedies of 2019? Probably not either. But that's not to say this movie is a bad movie. It is not. I think it's a good time, a good kind of filler movie. Go in during the summer, look for a good time, kill an hour and a half, hour 45, eat some popcorn, have some laughs. It's that kind of good movie. It'll have its moment in the 2019 movie world, and it'll probably just come and go. It'll last maybe a month, and then you'll probably see it in some DVD bins in some stores or whatever. You'll see it on pay-per-view or for rent or something down the line. And it's good. I mean, it really is just a good time. This does not reinvent the wheel. This will not change your life. This does not change how to make comedy movies. It's just a good movie for the summer of 2019, which has arguably been a little lackluster for movies this year. So this was a nice surprise, a good change of pace, especially a good change of pace in the comedy. Like I said, there are some legitimate funny moments, and it gave me genuine laughs. And those comedic moments don't all come from sexual humor, which I really thought was nice, because every TV show and every movie, it always seems like if they don't know how to squeeze out some laughs, they go, oh, let's just make it sexual, because that sells. And while there are sexual laughs and gags to be had, there's one section in particular of the movie that's all about sex and stuff. Not every laugh relies on that trope. There is some really good chemistry between Dave Bautista and Nanjiani, and that is the heartbeat of this movie. Those two on screen completely carry the show. I think Dave Bautista steals the show more. I think he did just a better job with the character he was given, and I think he had more of a physical presence on screen. Not like in his size. I mean, he's a physically massive dude, but I felt his character resonated more, at least throughout the film, with me than Nanjiani's character. And I apologize if I'm getting their names wrong. But he did a really good job too, and their chemistry together, that's the fun part. And honestly, I'm not saying I want a Stuber 2, but if they ever do another movie together, whether that's comedy, drama, action, whatever, I want to see it, because they work really well together. They played off each other perfectly. They both played really good roles. I like both their characters a lot. And I mean, again, give hats off to Dave Bautista. We all know him as Drax from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and the Avengers. But here, I think he really had a chance to show his chops. I know he's really dedicated himself to becoming an actor, much how Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson did. When everybody thought he was going to be an actor, we were all like, "Oh, please!" And you're going for the checks, And Johnson put in the work. He started doing these smaller movies, and now he's the biggest star in the world, arguably. He's in the Fast and Furious, and he might be in the DC movies, and I think Dave Bautista is doing the same thing. He's taken smaller roles in some big movies and some smaller movies. He was in a James Bond movie, if I remember correctly. I mean, that right there, like good for him. Like, regardless of the quality of those movies, that is a stamp on your resume. And again, he was in Blade Runner 2049, who was directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is also getting on the map himself. Like, people aren't knowing his name. And again, a smaller role in Blade Runner 2049, but again, a stamp on the resume, saying that I did this. And of course, he's got Drax to fall back on, but here in Stuber, it is just him, no makeup. There's no visual effects or nothing for him to fall back into. It's just him, and he's a legitimately funny guy. Much how The Rock is a physical presence and can punch through walls and probably throw cars with one hand. Dave Bautista, is no exception to that either. He is legitimately funny, and he can be a very funny person. We know that from Drax, with Marvel movies being funny, but I think doing a more straight comedy as opposed to having lighthearted moments throughout a movie, like he would in Guardians of the Galaxy, I think if Dave Bautista ever did a straight comedy, it would totally work for him, because this was a good testing ground, because this is an action comedy. And John Cena, he's making the attempt too. He's certainly not landing as well as I thought he would be with some of his roles. I really enjoyed him in Bumblebee, but the gap is being blurred now between personalities and movie stars and stuff. Before it was the distinction of TV and movies. There was just those two things. You're either this or you're that. And everybody thought, how can a wrestler be a movie star? And they're putting in the effort. I mean, if they put in the effort, give them credit where credit is due. And Dave Bautista is doing a good job, and he did a good job in this movie. With all that being said, this movie is not the greatest thing ever. Like I previously said, some of the jokes in this movie completely fall flat, left the entire theater I was in completely silent. And that's rough, man. Like, making a comedy, making a comedic movie, it's tough. I mean, when a joke falls flat and it's just literally just dead quiet in the theater, it's hard, whether that's for 10 seconds or 10 minutes. That is completely dead space that can kill a movie. And this movie for me was like an EKG monitor. The heart rate thing, it went up and down. There were times I really liked it, then I really didn't. Then I really liked it, then I really didn't. And it just went back and forth. There were times where I was like, oh, this is wonderful, this is delightful. And other times I was like, oh man, you're barking up the wrong tree here. Like, that's just how it was. And some of that came from the laughs. Because like I said, some of them land and some of them don't. And honestly, the directing of this movie, I did not think was the best. I don't know the director's name. I've never seen any of his work. So I don't know if this is his first attempt. If this is, bravo. This is better than anything I could ever make in a decade's time. But I thought overall there could have been a little more fine-tuning done on the directing side of things, especially in how some things were physically shot. I think the cinematography in this movie is pretty good. They have good lighting, good colors, nice wide angles to capture things. Some things, other times, they resort to the quick, choppy, shaky cam. I don't know why that is. Especially in the action scenes of this movie, and there are some pretty good set pieces, some things that surprised me, because I thought this was going to be just straight action with a little bit of comedy, and it ended up being about a half-half split of action and comedy. But when the action's happening, I don't know why some of the scenes are in that quick, shaky cam. For me, I think if you're putting all that time, all that effort, all that money, and that training into making an action piece, no matter how small it is, you're going to want to capture that. I don't know why it benefits the movie to do this. And I apologize if you're hearing rain in the background, but it is beginning to rain when I'm driving. Other than that, it was all right. I thought the writing was good dialogue, good laughs, good chemistry. And just the directing was a little dull. So that is my quick review of Stuber. I hope you enjoy it. Definitely check it out. It's a good time at the theaters. And so if you like this video, comment, share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right.